Howdy, folks. Excuse me, it's story time. Once again, this is Howie the story reading cat. This one is Merry Christmas, Curious George with Margaret and H.A. Rays. I really never paid attention to the authors. I was a big Curious George fan as a kid, the man in the yellow hat and all that. I got this to read. Curious George Christmas story. I thought it'd be kind of fun. For me, at least. We got our Christmas George ornaments in the side. There's Santa giving Christmas George, or Curious George, Christmas George, a star. Okay. This is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. He was a good little monkey, and always very curious. Today, George was visiting a Christmas tree farm. Look at all the Christmas trees, and there's George getting in the car over there. "You help me pick out the perfect tree for our home," his friend told him. "Keep close to me while we look." George promised to be good, but little monkeys sometimes forget. They do. Forgetful little monkeys. Christmas Tree Farm had more trees than George had ever seen. He found a nice one right away. But then another caught his eye. Then one more. Then another. George was curious. How many trees could there be? Well, of course he was curious. He's Curious George. Oh, look at that. Over here, George is so excited. He sees a big tree. George climbs the tree. And there's people, they're going to cut the tree that George is in, maybe. George could not resist climbing the tallest tree to get a better view. He looked for the man with the yellow hat, but his friend was nowhere in sight. Two men tromped into the clearing. "There's our tree," one man told the other. The men cut down the tree and loaded it onto the truck. It's going to the children's hospital. Ooh. Along with George. Ooh. George held on tightly. He saw the man with the yellow hat as the truck drove away, but the truck was going too fast. George could not jump off. He was scared, but still a little curious. There's George. He's hanging on. Oh, my goodness. George, hang on, George. We're at the children's hospital. Visiting hours are from 10 to 4. Soon the truck stopped in front of a hospital. George peeked out of the branches as the men carried his tree inside. That's not much of a peek. He's, kind of hanging out there. The tree is going up. The hospital was a busy place. There was lots here to see and do. He looked at some interesting pictures. He found a jacket and tried it on. It's like a doctor's coat, George. You can't be a doctor. He played on that's a bed. No more monkeys jumping on the bed. He played on a trampoline. He even went on a ride on a speedy little cart. What fun! Oh, it's a little book cart. Bringing all the kids at the Children's Hospital Curious George books, right? Tree decorating party today at 3 p.m. And there's a kid. She's in a wheelchair. Her arm's broken, and I don't know. He has chickenpox, maybe. I don't know. Flu, COVID. I don't know. Oh, that's terrible. I shouldn't have said COVID. Then George spotted something very interesting. His tree. George knew that Christmas trees were supposed to have tinsel and twinkling lights and shiny ornaments. But this tree was empty. George thought and thought. Then he had an idea. George put all the little hospital stuff on the He used toilet. He TP'd the tree. George TP'd the tree and put x-rays on this tree. There's an x-ray. He put it there. Someone's bed chart. Yeah, that's very responsible, George. They need that stuff. Next, George noticed a pile of gifts in the corner of the room. The gifts looked pretty, but George was curious. Could he make them look even prettier? This red bow would look much better on the green box. And the name tags might look nicer on a different package too. Uh-oh, he's switching the name tags? What a silly monkey. A nurse arrived, and what did she see? A monkey, and he's making a big mess. Yeah, in his mind he's doing some neat stuff, but he's just throwing crap everywhere. He's a monkey. And a nurse marches off with him, and his mess is left behind. A group of children crowded around the nurse. They were all patients at the hospital. Even though it was almost Christmas, the children were not smiling or looking happy. Come along, the nurse said, picking George up. I'd better get you out of here before you can ruin anything else. You know, they're pretty casual about a chimp running around their hospital, aren't they? Well, you know, sometimes in the big city you have monkeys running around. That's just how it is. There's the kid with the crutches. The girl with the cast stared at George's tree. Suddenly she giggled. Look, she said, it's my x-ray. The boy laughed, and there's the balloon from my room. All the children started chattering and laughing as they looked at George's funny decorations. You gonna read some, Archie? He's here. Can't he stay for the party? The boy asked the nurse. We don't mind about the gifts. It'll be fun to sort them out. Please let him stay. Please, the other children chimed out. And the nurse is holding the teddy bear, and we've got everybody there, and they're all excited. There's a monkey in the hospital, which is really not sanitary, but, you know, he was fun. When she saw how happy the children looked, the nurse looked happier, too. I suppose he can stay, she said, if he promises to help fix the tree. Archie, we don't need to read the book. Archie, you don't need to read it. You can move from the book. Archie, I need to read the book. Okay, we'll move the book then. Sorry. Yes, I'll read it to you, sir. George is happy to help too. Some of them returned George's decorations, while others handed George the real ornaments. He scampered up and down, stringing lights, hanging tinsel, being a monkey. He was good at that sort of thing. He was also good at making the children laugh. It was easier when it was where it should be. Cat. He's such a goofball, sir. Well, let's read some more. When the tree was finished, George helped open the gifts. He was having such a good time that he completely forgot he was lost. He's opening gifts and just being a wild little monkey. Speaking of wild little things, there's Archie reading the next page for us. What do we say, Archie? Till the man with the yellow hat hurried into the room. There you are, George, he cried. I followed that truck all the way here. George was very happy to be reunited with his friends. The nurse invited them both to stay for milk and cookies. And there's a nurse up here. We get past the cat. And there is a nurse with milk and cookies and a happy George trying to see his friend with the yellow hat. We're reaching the end. Oh, Santa's here. Oh, no. Ho, ho, ho. Did someone mention milk and cookies? A man in a red suit walked into the room, his belly jiggling. He was holding a beautiful golden star. George's eyes widened. There he is getting the star just from the cover, right? George's eyes widened. It was Santa Claus. Who would like to put the star on top of the tree? Santa asked. George, the children cried all at once. Let George do it. George scurried up the tree. One last time, he put the golden star in place carefully. Merry Christmas, Curious George. Well, that was fun. And we had a visitor, so, that happens. I don't know. He just is here sometimes. All right, folks, there you go. There's a little Christmas tale for you. Got a few more. We'll enjoy these throughout the Christmas season. I hope you all have a good night. Bye-bye.